Hello, everybody. Hi, and welcome, KCIW listeners, to 100.7 FM and KCIW.org, Brookings, Oregon. You know my morning slogan, and now I'm going to teach my guests to hopefully do the same thing and participate. I say it's a brand new day, and you're going to say, never been lived before. So here we go, everybody. It's a brand new day. Never
been lived before.
You got it. You like that voice on the other end? You'll be meeting our guest in just a minute. So welcome to Joyously Free with none better than Jonaie Lindenmeyer. Yep, that's me, author and resident of Harbor, Oregon, for 34 years now. So my KCIW radio show, also known as my Gadio show by my queer friends, has to do with LGBTQ stories and tips, along with religion, church, faith, and spirituality. Simply put, it's joy. It's freedom, it's courage, confidence, and collaboration, however you fit into that mode. You know, I'm a vibrant, joy-filled, great communicator, and I'll hopefully be communicating my words of wisdom as well as our guest speaker's words of wisdom today. So welcome. Also remember, the purpose of our show is to share, to have conversation, to spread that joy and freedom, hence the title Joyously Free. And where did that all come from? Well, it came from my second book that I authored in 2024 with Elizabeth Atkins of twosisterswriting.com, and it is called Joyously Free, Stories and Tips to Live Your True Self. So lo and behold, would you believe that that is available here in town at Forecastle Books, at the library, all over. But more importantly, it has to do with the people in this town that helped make that book successful. And I'm sitting across with somebody, and you're going to meet him in just a minute, that produced for me T-shirts, stickers, memorabilia, team name tags. And he has a great business in town. But hang on first, because we're going to start with my typical, what I call my prayer. So let's breathe in the good and out the doubt. Let's breathe in love and out with hate. Let's breathe in kindness and out with worry or fear. Be not troubled, be not afraid or saddened. Let the joy and peace that's an internal expression of love and harmony, let it out of you. Know that it's always inside of your soul and only has to be released. Also, there will be no hate speech, no hate behaviors, and no bullying in this podcast today. Is a combination of the 3 C's: courage, confidence, and collaboration. So together we're going to seek understanding for all of us on the Southern Oregon and Northern California coast, with our friends, with nature, and our loving community. So we're going to start today with the quote that our guest Shane picked off today, and it is, "Have courage and be kind." I'm going to repeat that. Have courage and be kind. My golden nuggets about that is pretty simple. Be brave. Say what you need to say. Walk the walk that you need to walk, all in favor of being kind to yourself. That's numero uno. Be kind to yourself, and it will it will spread. It will exude. That's the word I want. It will exude to everybody around you. Your courage, your strength, and your kindness. Thank you, Shane, for picking that quote for the day.
I'm very welcome.
Yes. So, KCIW listeners, across the plexiglass today is my very good friend, Shane Stevens. He is the owner of Tradewind Signs on the north end of town. Our topic today has to do with business. And one of the things I love about Shane and his business is that it is LGBTQ friendly, and it is everyone's friendly place to go. So with that, I'm going to jump right in and say, Shane, thank you for being here with your smile and your twinkling eyes.
Well, thank you for having me. I was very surprised when you called and invited me.
So. Oh my guys, good. Well, you've been an important part of my life for the last 2 years. And like I said, it was you that helped me to create so much of what None Better and Joyously Free and Healing Religious Hurts has going around the world. All the banners, your banners that you made that are so colorful and bright have been to Detroit and Palm Springs and San Diego. T-shirts have been worn by my team members everywhere, and you're going to find around town stickers on cars or on water bottles, all made by you and your business. And so, oh my gosh, to the top of my heart, I thank you for that.
Well, I mean, I have to take just a second and thank you, because a lot of people don't realize, and even me, I'm guilty of it. I never really thought that I had done that much for you, but when I see the excitement in you and I feel the joy that you have, and you don't let even the smallest of things go by without appreciating them to their fullest. And that's amazing. There's not many people like that in the world, so you're very special.
Oh, thank you, Shane. Thank you, Shane. Well, and I think you're special. So let's jump into an interview with you. Would you tell us a little bit about you, your background, how you're here in Brookings? Start with that, and then we're going to get into some other things.
I mean, I'm just a guy. My wife and I moved here. Well, we found this area by accident. Vacationing, we kind of picked a spot on the map we knew nothing about that we could drive to within 2 days, and this wasn't it, but we passed through here, and then as we kept going the way we were going, we turned around and came back here. Ooh. So we started out in Gold Beach, lived there for a while, and now we're in Brookings, and we've been here since 95, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been since 95 that when we moved out here. So we've been here for quite a while. And, a few years ago, well, not a few years ago, about almost a year ago now, I ended up as the owner of the business there. And I don't know what there is to say. I mean, my wife, she works with the adult mentally handicapped in town, and she helps them with their daily lives, with the things that they're, have difficulties managing.
Hi.
And she's loved doing that. They just love her to pieces. So that's been very rewarding for her and for me to see her doing something that helps people on a daily basis.
And you're both in that profession, helping people.
I try.
You do it. You do it. If you walk into your shop, and I hope everybody does, what's the address of your shop, Shay?
1111 Chetco Avenue. I used to say we're in the old Hennick's Hardware, but there's so many new people in town, they probably don't remember Hennick's. So, But we're, across from Napa and the automotive shop, the transmission shop.
And what are your hours that you're open?
We are Monday through Friday from 9 to 4, but I try to reserve Friday for appointments only, just because we get so bombarded during our busy season, we don't have any time to get anything done.
Right.
So that gives us a chance to try to move forward.
Yes. And you are a busy place. You have a staff of 2, and you are constantly running to make things happen with your artwork, your expertise in printing, from signs to stickers to business cards to everything. You even did the St. Tim's welcome sign for LGBTQ, or all are welcome. All are welcome.
So many signs. I mean, I've been there for those that don't know, we used to be in motion graphics, and I've been there since the original owner, Brett, started it, 20 years ago. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been there the whole time, and I think there's still people that are kind of surprised to find out that I'm just now the owner.
Yes.
So I look through town, and we've had such an impact on the look of the town, and that's kind of an interesting feeling when you realize that. It's like, how many businesses have I helped make their sign, even if it's a no trespassing sign or something simple, and I just kind of love doing it. Well, I've done forever, so. Right
on. And I think you have a sign on your forehead that just says kindness, because you so exude that. And as a lesbian woman, I have to tell you, when I first walked into your shop, I wasn't quite sure, because I've been in other shops as a queer person, and have received some real negative things, and from not smiles to not looking at your eyeballs to really not wanting to work with you. And walking into your shop, it was friendly. It was welcoming. And many businesses would like to have a LGBTQ sign or flag or something in their window that tells us, hey, we're safe in here, we're good to go. But with you, your smiles just exude that when you walk in. So
I just try to treat everybody the same. There's no reason to treat people different. I mean,
exactly.
It just doesn't make sense to me. So
exactly,
Yep.
For sure. So you came here a while back, and your wife works as a helper of people as well.
Oh yeah.
And you love helping people. Where do you see your business going right now?
I just hope we can pay our bills from month to month right now. I'm still so new as the owner. I wasn't expecting to become the owner. It was kind of thrust upon me. There was a time when I wanted it, but that time had was quite a while ago, and now I'm, approaching 60, and I didn't really want to become a business owner, but it's kind of like the thing, your little quote that we picked for the day, the have courage. Sometimes you get put into a situation that you may not want necessarily to be dealing with. And the important thing is don't run, because if you run, you're never going to accomplish anything. It's just, nothing good is going to come from that. So sometimes you have to be brave and you have to step forward and say, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it big,
Exactly.
It's like, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down in flames. That's all I did.
High five to you on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just going to give it my best. So here I am doing it. And I try to just treat everybody the same. Like I say, I don't think it's necessary to be so concerned about every little aspect people have of other people's lives. Let people just live their own life. It's not your concern. It's not my concern. I don't care. I don't care what TV shows a person watches. I'm glad that people have these good things in their lives, and it sucks when people have bad things in their lives. But, don't let other people's drama consume you.
Yes.
Yes,
I get it. So. Yep. And speaking of lives, one of the things I love about you is that every time I come into your shop, it's not just about business. It really is a how are you? What are you up to? And then you say something like, hey, I'm heading to Burning Man, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. Look at my new cart with all the lights on it. Talk about living. Can you just give some examples of what brings you joy in your daily life or your events that you participate in?
I think most people know my hobby of pinball.
Okay.
Much to my wife's regret. What started with one is now up to 14. And a bunch of other games. Here's an interesting thing for your listeners. I have the last payphone that was in service in Curry County.
Really?
Yes. It was at the gas station next door, and they had removed it because it was done. It was a customer-owned, customer-operated phone. And it had been out of service for a long time, and so they finally took it down. It was back by the dumpsters, and I had the opportunity to get it, so I have it.
Oh, my gosh.
At some point, when I get my little home arcade set up, I want to restore it, and I'm going to leave all the graffiti on it. There's nothing foul on there, nothing like that. I'm going to replace all the worn parts and convert it so it'll actually work on a modern telephone line.
Oh.
And then I'm going to have it actually working as a phone in my house.
Oh my gosh, that's way cool.
So, that's my little hobby. And then...
And for the younger listeners, they may not even have a clue what that is.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Think about that one.
So I was telling my wife the other day, I'm like, think about it. There's no payphones anymore.
Right. And a payphone was because there were no cell phones out and about, and you'd have to find a phone somewhere when you were in the city or the town or whatever, and you needed to make a call. You had to make sure you had a dime in your pocket, because that's what I remember paying. Yeah. What do you remember paying for a phone call?
Oh, I remember when it was a dime, and then it finally went up to a quarter.
Yes.
But yeah, does anybody even still remember the term to drop a dime on someone?
Remind me.
So that was kind of like if you're going to tell on somebody, you're going to drop a dime on them because you're going to put the dime in the quarter and call somebody and tell on them.
That is awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh yeah. I remember those days. Payphones everywhere. And yeah, if anyone's curious, this was at the gas station right next to our shop there, the Pinnacle Shell. And I've looked, we took time and kind of looked around, and I'm like, is there any other that's still standing when I got it? And no, the only other one that was in town prior to that I knew of was down in the port. And that has been turned into a bank kiosk at this point. So.
I'll be darned. Well, I'll tell you, when you get to the point where you're not going to want that anymore in your house, you better get a hold of Patty McVeigh, and they're going to put it in the museum, for our Curry County.
I should actually. I know Patty very well. So,
do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're incredible.
I know everybody in this town. I've been doing signs for 20 years. Are you kidding me? I do everybody's signs. I do everybody's signs, everybody's cars, everybody's T-shirts, everybody's stickers, everybody's brochures.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So what that means, KCAW listeners, is go by and say hi to Shane. I heard you on the radio today, Shane, or give us a little email response or a phone call to KCIW to say, hey, Shane's pretty cool on the radio. And you're used to sound equipment. And talk to us about that. Why are you so comfortable around sound equipment?
Just before moving to Oregon, I spent over 10 years in bands playing bars. So Yeah, I know it all. And because practice was always at my house, I was always the guy sitting up until 2 o'clock in the morning playing with things. Ooh, going, what does this do? What does this do? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, that makes echo.
Very fun. And what instruments do you play?
Drums are my main. It's really the only thing I play much anymore. But yeah, started on piano and then wanted to play drums and they wouldn't let me in school. So I ended up with the whole brass run, which was trombone, French horn, baritone, tuba, blah, blah, blah. And then finally got onto percussion and played everything of that and, jazz and marching band and rock band. And now I just sit at home. I've got a couple nice cone drums that I've purchased and some sound equipment. And so I make stupid little videos and post them on my YouTube channel of me playing my drums and just being dumb.
How do they find you on YouTube?
If anybody's interested, just search for 101 Osprey 101, kind of all one word. You'll see a logo of an osprey carrying a pinball in its talons.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
The other way, as funny as it sounds, is just do a search for My Broken Wiener. And it's not what you think it sounds like. I had a dachshund who he became paralyzed.
Oh.
And we had gotten a new wheelchair for him, and it was his first day in his new wheelchair. And we put that up, and people just love that video. The company that made it, they posted it on their website. And
can you repeat the name of that then?
So it was My Broken Wiener.
Oh, that is just hilarious.
I know, sorry.
Hilarious.
I like everything in my life. I like to look at and say, how can I twist that just a little bit?
That's your joy, too, let me tell you, Shane.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my. So what happened to your beautiful dachshund?
So, oh, my gosh, I cared for him for over 10 years with him being paralyzed. I would help him pee every day. I sat and did the math one time. It was crazy how many times I'd helped him,
Wow.
Do that. And then, he finally just got to that point where we had to, it was time. He was too old. But, oh, yeah. And then that really locked me into my house for a long time. I couldn't go on vacations. I couldn't go with my wife up to Portland to visit family. I mean, I had to stay with him all the time.
That commitment.
So when we lost him, that was when my life kind of blossomed again. And that's when I found my birth family. That's when I ended up going to Burning Man the first time.
Okay, back up. You found your birth family.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about that?
I can. I was adopted as an infant, and I was born in California and adopted by a Utah family.
Oh.
And so both of those are closed adoption states. In order for me to be able to get a copy of my original birth certificate unaltered so I could know who my parents were.
Biological parents?
Yeah, it would literally have taken 2 acts of Congress, one from California, one from Utah, and that's not going to happen. So I ended up contacting a group, and I tell everybody.
So let me back up, because many people may not know what a closed adoption means.
So
can you describe that, please?
A closed adoption means that the original birth certificate is not available to the person who was adopted out. So I have zero access to that or any of the information regarding who my actual birth parents are. They will not give me that information. If it has not been given to someone to give to me, they will not give it to me, period.
Right.
So
thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. So I ended up contacting a group on Facebook called Search Squad. And I really want to highlight that because they are amazing. And I have to be real careful because I'll get emotional here. I'll start crying.
It's okay. I have boxes of Kleenex around. You're talking to an emotional person right now.
But, I got to be the tough guy, right? Anyhow, I got a hold of them, and I ended up having a lady assigned to me, my search angel. She's a DNA genealogist.
Ooh.
And these are people who help other people. They donate their time to help people find lost loved ones, family members, whatever. And, without getting into a long story, because it is a big story, we found who my parents were. We found out who my mother was. We found out who my father was. I found that I had a full sister. I found that I had a half brother that were still surviving. And it's been really amazing. So
you found a family.
Yeah,
you found your family.
Yeah.
Oh
my sister and I.
When did this all happen?
This has been about 2 years ago. So
recently.
Oh yeah. And since then, I quit smoking. I've lost a ton of weight, as you know.
Totally. Yes.
And so, yeah, it's been pretty interesting couple of years between finding family and changing my lifestyle and just becoming a business owner and all of that. It's been interesting. It was a lot to take in at first. Boy, I'll tell you, it was.
So have you met your family?
I've met my brother. He lives, my half-brother. He's, I don't consider him a half-brother, but he lives down actually in the city where we were born. I went and visited him. I was born in Upland, California, and that's where he still lives. I went down there and visited him, and he took me and showed me the hospital we were both born in.
Oh, wow.
Crazy thing is he actually grew up in a trailer park. This is really I've told you the story.
I know. I'd love hearing it again.
You've got so little time here, but he grew up literally 2 doors away from the guy whose name, it was incorrect, but the guy whose name was on our birth certificate, he grew up 2 doors away from him and that whole family. And 2 of the girls that were there were our half-sisters. Our mother was probably there. It was pretty crazy. So when I went and visited him, he took me to these places, and he and I are real close. And then my sister lives in Florida, and she and I are full brother sister. What's her name? Her name is Christy, and my brother's name is John.
Okay. So Christy, John, and Shane.
Yeah. So Christy's we're working on her coming out and going to Burning Man with me this year. So this is going to be our first chance to meet. And we've had family that agreed that it would be an amazing place to be able to meet and spend time together. Mm-hmm. So, I didn't know if I was going to be able to swing it this year. It's, but I guess I'm going to.
You're going to make it happen.
No way I'm going to miss out on doing this.
Oh, my God. And to meet your sister.
Oh, and she and I are so much alike. It's, it's just amazing how much alike we are. You see pictures of us side by side when we're young, and we'd look like twins.
Holy moly. Holy moly. And you triggered this for your family, that by you doing this, they found you and you found them.
Oh, they didn't. Yeah. My sister... It was funny because when I first found out I had family, I was given this warning. Now, be careful about approaching people, because a lot of times it's, hey, Mom, Merry Christmas. Won't this be fun? We'll see what our DNA is, what our heritage is. And then all of a sudden they get a call going, hey, I'm your brother. And she's in Florida, and my whole family's from the Midwest, and she's going, nope, not possible, not possible. And then I tell her, she's like, when were you born? Because I get her in contact with the people that have helped me with this. And she says, when were you born? And I tell her, and she's like, oh, maybe, maybe. And then we got learning more and more, and and that's the other thing. I just want to say, while something like this, to everybody, I don't care what your thoughts are on DNA testing, get it done, get it done, get it done. Because even if you don't want to know the results, don't look at them. But it will help somebody someday. If you are in an accident and you are horribly disfigured and they cannot find you in any other way, they cannot help your family find you, they can tell you who you are by your DNA. Or somebody years from now who's looking to know who they are and where they come from. Wow. Man.
I know my brother and sister have also done that. And personally, I have not done the DNA, what do you call it? DNA testing?
DNA testing,
DNA testing. Yep. Where do you have that done?
I can't remember who I did it to. I'd have to look. It's ancestry.com is the website. And I think they're the one that actually makes the kit. It's actually, it's the Mormon Church who does that, who has the largest genealogical database in the world, I think.
Exactly.
My grandmother worked for them for many, many years. She was very, very religious. Me, not so much, but my family was very religious on that side. And she donated hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of hours to the genealogy library there. So, yeah, it's very valuable to people down the road. So even if, Joanie, you do it, because even if it doesn't matter to you, someday it could matter to somebody else more than you could possibly imagine.
Thank you.
All they need is that little clue sometimes. I mean, and for in my case, it was the fact that my mother was such a screw-up, she ended up in the newspaper, and they happened to mention my father's name. And as soon as they ran that, everything clicked into place. Wow. So,
wow. Thank you for sharing all that. And I'm going to do that. You
should do it.
Absolutely.
It's not horribly expensive.
And you talk about family. Oh my gosh, there's so much to family. The blood family, the adopted family, everything that goes around family. And in the LGBTQ community, we call that a found family, because many of us are disassociated from our family. We're kicked out. They don't want to be around us. It's amazing how that is. And that's true in this town. And so we have a found family for that.
Well, and I think that even happens, in other families as well. I've been very estranged with my father, who's not doing well now. He's nearing his time. And it's, it's difficult. And yeah,
right. So. And that's where the healing comes in. And that's why I wrote the 3 books, Shane. All these stories from everybody have triggered all these other things to write about. And that's going to be my legacy. Talk about a DNA kind of thing. I have a legacy coming with my books, as well as the auditory version of None Better, which will be coming out really soon. So they'll be able to hear my voice.
Oh, that's
when
awesome.
My honey Carol passed away, I don't think you ever met Carol, but she passed away 3 years ago. I don't have anything with her voice.
Oh.
I have pictures, I have all other kinds of things, but I don't have anything with her voice.
I got a recording of my father's voice.
You did?
I did.
Oh, tell me.
So it was just something someone had bought. It was from like the 60s or something. They had bought a tape player, and they were testing it out and using it to show how it worked and giving instructions on the tape. And
wow.
So it's funny you said that, but because yes, it's so interesting when you can have some way of connecting with that person physically,
yes.
I mean, while auditory isn't touching, it is still, a kind of a very close way of associating with a person,
Yes.
It's as good as touching in some cases.
Yes, so. Totally. You have such good wisdom. Oh my gosh. And your kindness just is phenomenal.
Oh.
So we are down to like less than 2 minutes. Shane, what would be some final comments you would like to share to any of the listeners out there today?
Take time to talk to people. It's like I was telling you earlier, I don't do political things in my shop unless they are for someone running for office. And it's because too many people just want to shout slogans at each other these days. They don't want to stop and listen. They don't want to talk. And instead of doing that, just take the time and talk to people, or just keep your mouth shut sometimes. Sometimes it's best if we just, realize we're having a bad moment, zip our lips and have a moment. And other times, take the time to talk to people. Don't judge, just talk.
Oh, I love that. That is a mic drop. And that's why I wanted to chat with you today.
You surprised me.
Good. I'm all full of surprises. So thanks, listeners, for being with us today on the Joyously Free Show. We hope you have been inspired and challenged and enjoyed the stories and tips, hopes, loves, and joys with Shane and myself, none better than Jonaie Lindenmeyer. It's been a phenomenal day, Shane. I thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And we thank all the team here at KCIW, Tom Bozak, Mike Gorse, Candace, and Rose, and everybody who makes this possible. Remember, you can find more information on kciw.org, or if you're looking for me, twosisterswriting.com. Also remember that we want to wish you a beautiful, courageous, and kind day with our final thoughts and blessing that be you, take time to have conversation with people, and let your light shine. Thank you for being in our community and in my life. Have a great big day and smile big and wear bright colors. Thank you, Shane.
Thank you. This has been awesome.